Who is the man in red chalk? This portrait is referred to as the man in red chalk, and there is a mystery about who actually sat for this piece. I do find the title to be captivating because it's drawn on paper in red chalk. Sometimes I feel like the names we come up with for these pieces are just as brilliant as the pieces themselves. The old man is in a 3/4 view with long wavy hair and a beard. It's been reproduced so often that this particular image has become synonymous with the term Renaissance man. But here's the mystery. You see, at the bottom of this drawing is an inscription that reads, Leonardo da Vinci, portrait of himself as an old man. Now, this inscription was written at a later time, so it wasn't written by Da Vinci himself, and there is some debate as to whether this is a portrait of Leonardo da Vinci. It seems the assumption was made around the 19th century due to it resembling other portraits that are also believed to be Leonardo da Vinci, such as in Raphael's School of Athens. It's understood that da Vinci sat as Plato for Raphael when he painted that piece. Those that believe this to be a self-portrait also believe that he drew this piece while he was in his 60s. While most experts agree that this piece was drawn by Da Vinci himself due to the fine lines and shadow hatching and the fact that it was drawn by a left-handed person, all of these are characteristics of Da Vinci's drawings. But since the late 20th century, there has been some debate as to if this is actually a self-portrait. Some scholars believe that the man in this picture is much older than 60 years of age, which is what Da Vinci would have been had he drawn this piece. They speculate that it may be a picture of his father or his uncle, as both of those men lived into their 80s. When you take into consideration one portrait that's known to be a Da Vinci, attributed to one of his pupils, Francesco Melchi, you can see that it's not the same person. And this portrait is supposed to be drawn around the same time period. So when I take these factors into account, I have to agree the Renaissance man, or the man in red chalk, is probably not Da Vinci. Either that, or perhaps he was trying to draw himself older than he actually was, as if to ask himself, how would I look if I was in my 80s? And perhaps he drew himself that way. I would say that's plausible. The man was a scientist. He was inquisitive, so these types of things, I could see him wondering them and trying to answer those questions, perhaps through a self-portrait, much older than he was at that time. In those scenarios, I could see it being Da Vinci, but it's probably much more likely a portrait of his father or his uncle. I really enjoyed sculpting this, trying to bring it to life more in my art style. It was a really fun thing to work on. I hope you enjoyed solving the mystery of who is the man in red chalk. And if you're still watching the video, why not give it a like? And thanks for watching. Who is the man in red chalk? Who is the man in red chalk? Who is the man in red chalk? When you take into consideration the portrait that's attributed to Francisco, the portrait that